Okay, so imagine this. You're getting ready for your next D&D session, and you really want to design like a truly epic monster encounter, something that your players will never forget. But you're just drawing a blank, like you've used all your usual tricks. How do you get past that, break through that creative wall and come up with something truly new?
Oh, I've totally been there. It's so frustrating when that happens.
Right.
Just last week, my players were exploring this ancient ruin, all overgrown. And I wanted the encounter to be, I don't know, more than just a straight up fight. I wanted the environment to feel dangerous too. So I ended up having these magic vines like bursting out from the stonework. They would try and grapple the party, restrain them. It turned into this crazy scramble. They were trying to fight off enemies and also dodge these like ensnaring vines.
Right.
It ended up being way more dynamic and engaging, I think.
That sounds amazing, honestly. It's like the kind of thing every DM dreams of. And it kind of sounds like something AI could help with, right? It's funny because today we're looking at how AI is changing D&D, specifically how it can help DMs design better monster encounters.
Absolutely. It's opening up so many possibilities. It's not even just about making things easier. It's about giving us new tools to come up with encounters we couldn't have imagined before.
Yeah, I get that. I'll be honest, at first I was a little skeptical about AI and D&D. Felt like it might, take away from the magic of it. But hearing what you did with those vines, I'm starting to see it differently. Maybe AI could actually make the game more creative.
I think so, yeah. It's like having a brainstorming partner. Think of it like this. AI can look at tons of data, right? About monsters, environments, game mechanics. And it can use that to suggest things we wouldn't think of. Unique combinations or unexpected twists.
Okay, so instead of using the same old ideas, AI can help us come up with fresh stuff, new challenges for the players. Do you have any examples of how this works in practice?
Sure, yeah. So there's this platform called LitRPG Adventures Workshop. It was created by Paul Bello. This tool, it doesn't just generate stats and tables. It can actually help you make your encounters better. Like it can create vivid descriptions, custom monsters, even narrative hooks.
Wait, custom monsters? That's really interesting. I could see that being really useful. You could design creatures that fit perfectly into your campaign world with unique abilities and weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say you're running a campaign where magic is like corrupted and unpredictable. With this tool, you could create a monster that came from a failed spell. It would have powers based on the spell, like maybe it can drain other creatures' magic or warp reality. So it's more than just a stat block. It has a story behind it.
That's a fantastic example. It's like the AI is helping you connect your world's lore to the encounters. It's way more in-depth than just using the monster manual.
Right. And that's just one thing you can do. You could also use it to design a boss fight with multiple stages. The AI could suggest twists and turns to keep your players on edge.
Like,
I don't know, maybe the boss transforms when they get low on health. Or they start summoning minions with special powers.
That would be cool. It sounds like this is great for DMs who like to create complex encounters. Yeah. It's almost like having a second DM, someone who's constantly coming up with new ideas with you.
Yeah, I think it can definitely feel that way. But remember, you're still in control. You're the one who shapes the encounter to fit your vision. The AI is just there to help you explore possibilities.
Okay, so LitRPG Adventures Workshop is like having a super-powered co-DM. But what if you want something more like a brainstorming partner? Someone that can just help you come up with ideas on the fly.
Well, in that case, there's ChatGPT. A lot of dungeon masters are using it now because it's really versatile and it can generate creative content. You can give it simple prompts and it will give you all sorts of stuff.
So like if I wanted to create a jungle ambush with hidden traps and maybe some mischievous creatures.
Exactly. ChatGPT could help you with that.
I can already imagine it. My players hacking their way through the jungle. Then they fall into a pit trap and land in a nest of giant spiders. ChatGPT could help me flesh out the details too, like the sticky webs, the spiders making noises, the smell of decay. It's all about making it immersive, not just about rolling dice.
Yes, exactly. It's about bringing those encounters to life. And ChatGPT can do that in seconds. It can come up with vivid details that engage all the senses.
That's amazing. And it sounds like ChatGPT isn't just for environments and encounters. It can also be used to generate unique monsters, right?
Oh, absolutely. Let's say your campaign is set in a volcanic wasteland. You could ask ChatGPT to design a creature that lives there. Maybe one made of molten rock that can spit fire and control lava.
That's so cool. And again, it's not just about the stats. It's about how the creature fits into the world, what its story is. ChatGPT could even come up with names, lore, even cultural details.
That's what makes it so powerful. It's not just crunching numbers, it's a creative partner. It helps you explore all sorts of narrative possibilities, and it can challenge your players with encounters that are relevant to your world.
Yeah, it really is like having this whole team working for you. World builders, game designers, all helping you come up with amazing ideas. But, it's still up to you, the DM, to take those ideas and make them your own.
So we're not giving up control, we're just using AI to make things better. We're still the ones telling the story, creating the world.
Exactly. And that brings up something important. When you're designing encounters with AI, you have to think about balance.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's one thing to make a monster that sounds cool, but it's got to be a fun challenge for the players too. I've definitely made that mistake before. Spend hours on this terrifying creature and then it just wipes out the party in one round. That's not a good time for anyone.
That's not. That's why you got to review what the AI gives you and adjust things if needed.
So don't just take it at face value. Look at the stats, the abilities, think about your players. Right. It's like, when you're cooking, you have a recipe, but you might change it a little, add different spices, maybe adjust the cooking time.
Yeah, I get that. You're using your own knowledge to make sure it turns out good.
Exactly. So maybe the AI suggests a monster with this crazy powerful attack, and you realize, wait, this would instantly kill my players. Instead of throwing it out, you can just tweak it. Maybe reduce the damage or give it a weakness.
So you're finding that sweet spot where it's challenging, but not impossible.
Exactly. And that's where you, the human, are so important. You use your understanding of the game and your players to shape those AI ideas into something that works for you.
That makes sense. But this is where it gets really interesting. AI isn't just for making monsters and stats. It can also be used to make environments that react to the players.
Wait, what? Dynamic environments? You mean like the environment is part of the encounter?
Yep, that's exactly what I mean. In movies, when the heroes are fighting and the environment is dangerous too, like buildings collapsing or the ground breaking apart, AI can help us do that in D&D. Wow, that's crazy. Can you give me an example? How would that work in a game?
Okay, imagine your players are in an old temple, and it's dedicated to some forgotten god. With AI, you could make the temple react to the players. Like, if they do certain rituals, maybe traps go off. Or maybe the temple starts to collapse if they do something disrespectful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like the dungeon is alive. It would definitely make things more exciting. But wouldn't that be really hard to set up? Like, wouldn't I need to know a lot about programming?
Not at all. That's the best part. These AI tools are getting easier to use all the time. They have simple interfaces, drag and drop stuff. You don't need to write any code. You just tell the AI what you want and it does the rest.
So I could make a dungeon that changes based on what the players do, and I wouldn't need a computer science degree.
Exactly. You just set up triggers and responses like those choose your own adventure books.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this works.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be a dungeon, right? You could do this with any environment.
Absolutely. A city, a forest, even underwater. The only limit is your imagination. And as AI gets better, there will be even more possibilities.
This is making me rethink everything about D&D.
Yeah.
It feels like we're entering a new era where technology and creativity are coming together.
I think so too. And it's not just about making things look cool. It's about using AI to make our stories better.
Oh, how so?
Well, we can use AI to create NPCs that are more believable. NPCs that react to the players in a natural way. Imagine having a conversation with an NPC that feels like a real person.
Yeah.
They could have their own goals, their own secrets, and how they respond to the players could change the whole campaign.
That's incredible. The NPCs wouldn't just be quest givers anymore. They'd be real characters, part of the world.
Exactly. And AI can help us create those characters with amazing detail.
So instead of using pre-written dialogue or trying to improvise everything.
We can use AI to make NPCs that feel more real.
And more unpredictable.
Yeah, it's like this. You give the AI some information about the NPC, their personality, their goals, how they know the players, and then the AI can come up with dialogue and actions that make sense for that character.
Wow, that would save so much time. It would free up the DM to focus on other things.
It really would. It's about making the role-playing better, making the world feel more alive.
Okay, I've got to ask, can you give me an example of how this would work in a game?
Sure. Let's say your players are talking to a powerful lord. This lord is known for being clever and ruthless. Instead of trying to play the lord yourself, you could use AI to help you.
Really? How?
The AI could give you suggestions for what the lord would say or do. It could even tell you how he might act.
Okay, so like, I would tell the AI about the Lord's personality and his goals and maybe some rumors I've heard about him, and the AI would help me play him realistically.
Exactly. The AI might suggest lines like, "Your offer is interesting, but it doesn't benefit me." Or, "I'm a patient man, but my patience has limits." It could even suggest little things, like a frown or a wave of the hand, things that show the Lord's true intentions.
That's incredible. It would be like having an acting coach right there with me. And the players would never know it was AI.
Exactly. It's all happening behind the scenes, helping you create a better experience for everyone.
This is really amazing stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just making things easier, it's making the whole game better.
I think so too. It's about reaching the full potential of D&D, making it more immersive, more exciting.
I agree. It's a really exciting time to be a D&D fan.
It really is.
It really feels like we're on the edge of something huge with D&D, like technology is going to change everything.
I think so too.
But we have to be careful, right? We need to make sure we're using these tools the right way so that they make D&D better, not worse.
Oh, absolutely. It's like we've got this powerful magic and we don't want to misuse it.
Exactly.
One of the big challenges is making sure AI doesn't make all D&D games the same. Like, we don't want every dungeon to feel identical or every monster to be a copy.
Right. That would be awful. All the creativity would be gone. So how do we prevent that? How do we use AI to be more creative, but still keep things unique and personal?
I think the key is to remember that AI is just a starting point. It gives you ideas, but you don't have to use them exactly as they are.
Right.
Don't just blindly accept what the AI gives you. Ask yourself, how can I change this, make it my own?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like the AI is giving you ingredients, but you're still the chef. You get to decide how to use those ingredients to make something special.
Exactly. And there's another thing to watch out for: bias.
Oh, right.
AI tools learn from huge amounts of data, and that data can have problems. Like, it might reflect stereotypes or outdated ideas.
So the AI might end up creating things that are offensive or insensitive.
Yeah, it's possible.
So we need to be careful about what we use. And if we see something wrong, we need to speak up.
Absolutely. We need to give feedback to the people making these tools. We need to push for AI that is fair and inclusive.
It's like we're all part of this. We're helping to shape the future of AI and D&D.
I think that's a great way to put it.
And there's another issue: accessibility. These AI tools can be expensive. Not everyone can afford them.
That's true.
We need to make sure everyone can use these tools, not just people with a lot of money.
Absolutely. We also need to make sure they're easy to use. Not everyone is a tech expert.
Right. We need tutorials, guides, things like that.
Yeah, we need to make it easy for anyone to get started with AI and D&D.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot today. It seems like AI has the potential to really change D&D. But we need to be careful about how we use it.
I agree.
We need to make sure it's used in a way that benefits everyone.
That's the goal.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap things up. This has been a fascinating look at AI and D&D. Really excited to see what the future holds. A big thank you to LitRPG Reads and Paul Bello. They're doing some amazing work in this field.
Yes, they are.
And for our listeners, we want to hear from you. What do you think about AI and D&D? Are you excited about it? Worried? Let us know in the comments. We want to keep this conversation going.
Definitely.
And until next time, may your dice rolls be ever in your favor.